Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Erin O'Brien. I'm a Thermomix consultant and team leader based in Druin in Victoria. And tonight, my team and I are bringing you a virtual cooking class centered around the TM7, but also centered around meals, recipes, snacks, and different things that are going to hopefully, help you calm the midweek mayhem in your house. So we all know that whether it's the whole week or just certain days can be quite chaotic. So we are going to show you how you can use your TM7 or TM6, TM5, TM31 to kind of help you out on those crazy nights. So thank you so much for joining us. I would love you to pop in the chat box if you don't mind, perhaps where you're watching from tonight. And if you have a Thermomix and what model it is, pop it in the chat box and let us know. We are going to get straight into cooking tonight. Please stay on mute if you don't mind as we go through tonight's virtual. It does make it a little bit easier. We're going to be moving along with things quite quickly, but if you do have any questions at all, please just pop them in the chat box. There are a few of us cooking who can answer questions as we're going, but we also have some of our other team members that are joining us in the chat box and are ready and able to answer any questions that you've got. So let's get cooking. We're going to head on over and meet Brooke to start with. And yeah, let us know if you've got any questions as we're going.
Hi everyone, my name is Brooke. For those that don't know me, I'm from the East Gippsland area, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram as Thermo Inspired Foodie. So tonight, this is one of my quick go-tos. I'm going to be doing some chicken Kievs and some mashed potato with steamed veg. So just heading over onto our home screen, I've already added it into my week, which you can do on your cookie do. And we're just going to hit our start. This is a recipe that you can actually scale up and down, and it's a little bit versatile in that you can do chicken Kievs, but you can kind of turn it into a few different things, which we'll talk about as we go. So this one also doesn't use a breadcrumb. It's a healthier version of a chicken Kiev, and it's a bit of an odd twist, but we are going in with some almonds for our crumb coating. So 100 grams of almonds into our bowl. A little bit over, but that's okay. Hitting our next button, and now we're just going to mill these down to like a fine breadcrumb. So going 5 seconds, speed 9, and hitting our go. See the tick there, we're done. So just hitting our next button. And you can see there, in a few seconds, we've got our nuts are completely ground down quite fine. Essentially, it is almond meal, which is a bit of a money saver as well. So going in with a few herbs. So we've got a bit of dried oregano. So it says a teaspoon. If you're like me, you're a bit of a guesstimator. You don't have to measure to the T. You can just hit the tick button and tick off your ingredient on your TM7 if you've got one. A bit of onion powder, which it does say is optional. Not everyone is a fan. I think it adds quite a bit of flavour, so it's definitely worth chucking in if you like that. Bit of sweet paprika. So it's just asking for half a teaspoon. And then just going in with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So this is the alternative. You can do breadcrumb if you wanted to, but if you haven't given this one a go, I highly recommend it. It's a great one. Just chucking our lid back on, and we're just going to combine that. 5 seconds, speed 3. And you can see there's a little reverse arrow there. That's just the blades going backwards to mix instead of chopping it any further. Just hitting our next button. And now it's just asking us to transfer it into a shallow dish. So you can see there, this is going to be our crumb coat for our chicken Kievs. So super quick, super easy to do. Just going to tuck that into a shallow dish. Get the last of it out. And popping that one off to the side. So then popping that one back on. It says don't rinse your mixing bowl, which is always great. On less dishes, the better. So going in with some parmesan now. So now we're going to be doing, getting this ready for what's going to go in our chicken fillet mixture with that. You can see we've got 100 grams, and it's actually ticking it off for me because with the new 7, it's quite a handy feature. It'll actually tick it off for you if you've put the right amount in or within the range. So we're just going to grate this parmesan down. So I just had a shaved parmesan. That's personally what I keep in the fridge. But if you've got a block, you could use anything that you like. So you can see there, we've got a nice, perfect crumble consistency. So it's just asking that to transfer and put that off to the side as well. Definitely could have gone a bigger bowl here, but that's okay. So you can see there it's perfectly shaved. Just going to pop that one off to the side. Popping our bowl back on again. And now we're going to make our herb and garlic butter. This one does ask for a few herbs and your garlic. Personally, myself and the kids, we don't really like the herbs in it. We just like a plain garlic and herb one. So we're going to miss a few steps. So we're going in with 2 to 3 garlic cloves. If you're a garlic lover, feel free to put as much garlic as you like. Then we're going in with 100 grams of butter. Popping that in. Now, it does say cold, and definitely recommend that you do have cold butter. It just makes it a lot easier when popping it in the middle of your chicken Kievs. And then it's asking us for some parsley, basil, and thyme. But again, I'm going to leave that out. This is guided cooking. If you don't like something, leave it out. It's completely fine. It's not a set rule book as to what you have to do. Do what's going to meet you and your family. And so we're just going to blend this for 40 seconds at speed 5, just to crush the garlic and mix our butter in. Probably not even going to need the 40 seconds, to be honest, because I've left out a few of those herbs and it caters to chop those as well. And the more you get to know your Thermomixes, you actually learn the sound of your Thermomix. So I'm actually going to stop it at 20 seconds because I can actually hear that it's chopped and that it's mixed. And we're all about saving time. So you can see there, that's perfectly mixed and done. So you can just hit our next button with that one, and we're just going to transfer that into a bowl as well. So that is now going to be our center filling for our chicken Kiev. So if you're getting home from work and you've got a bit of chicken out, it's super quick and super easy to do. It's definitely one of my go-tos. Apologies of kids in the background. It's going to bedtime in our household. So sitting our butter off to the side and then moving on. Again, it says don't wash your mixing bowl. Less dishes, the better. And now we're going to go on to making our chicken portion. So it says 500 grams of chicken breast. Again, you can scale this up just into rough chunks. Bigger chunks is fine. And if it's still partially frozen, that's also okay. The best thing about this recipe is that you can actually freeze these and cook them from frozen. So these are a great make-ahead meal for if you know that you're going to be finishing work late or you don't quite have time and you just want a quick meal. So going in with an egg and then just a little bit of salt, so it's a teaspoon. Again, guesstimating, no fixed rule. And then we are going to add in a bit of our reserved parmesan. So popping that one in. And it says 20 grams of our reserved crumb, which is our nut mix that we did at the start. So just going to pop 20 grams of that one in, which if you remember, we put all those herbs through that one. So this really does help give your chicken Kiev quite a nice flavour through that chicken mince. And now we are going to mince our chicken for 40 seconds, speed 9. So this is one of those money savers. So if you're not doing chicken Kievs or you happen to have like a whole pieces of steak or beef, like chuck beef or anything like that, the blade and your power of your Thermomix can actually make that chunk steak into a mince for you. So depending on if you get your steaks on special, that sort of thing, or your chicken breast on special to make chicken mince, pork into pork mince, that sort of thing. Huge money saver to be able to do that whole product down to a mince for you. And generally, there's not any hidden nasties in it. The more that's processed in the supermarket, there's generally something else added into it. So great money saver and a little bit healthier option too. So just asking us to preheat our oven, which I've already got mine going in the background, and just lining our tray. So now we are going to construct them. So I'm just going to slide that one out. Our TM7 has built-in glider feet, which is really cool. So you don't have to worry about wrecking our scales. If you've got a 6, definitely get yourself a glider board. So you can see there that our chicken is completely minced down. So grabbing our butter and just having that easy in front of you so that you're not having to reach over anything. I've just got a little teaspoon, which I find is easiest, and our crumb coat. So what we're going to do, this here is where you can cater for your family again. You can make different sizes. So one batch of this recipe says it makes 6. I personally reckon it makes about 3 large ones that like my husband and I would have one each and decent size. If you like the smaller ones, then you'll definitely get the 6. But again, can make it completely to suit you and your family. So I've just wet my hands. So you're just making them a little bit damp. And then you're just going to grab what portion you would like, depending on what size you're making. And you're just giving it a little squish. And so you want it about 1 centimetre thick. You don't obviously want hold areas because otherwise your butter is going to escape on you. So I just do like palm of the hand, give it a little flat out, and then grab a good scoop of butter and chuck that in the middle. So this is where it's important that your butter is on the colder side because it helps stay in that hard lump. And then all you're going to do is literally tuck that chicken over that butter, making sure that it's completely covered in and there's no thin spots or holes. And then just give it a little gentle shape, little roll. It's super easy. You don't have to be fussy, I find. The damper your hands are, the easier it is because obviously the chicken doesn't stick to your hands. So there we've got it rounded in the killer. And then you're just going to pop it into your crumb coat. And then depending on what dish you got, I just give mine a little roll. And then just tapping it on the ends to make sure that you give it a good coating over. Get the excess off. And that's one done. So then just going to chuck that into your baking tray. So this mixture that I've got here, you could actually just do plain. So I do little ones with no garlic butter in them for one of my kids is a little bit on the fussier side and doesn't like garlic. So I literally just roll it, chuck it in the crumb and cook it up. And it's essentially like a big chicken nugget. You can use this mixture as a chicken nugget mixture if you like. You could add a few veggies in there, hide a few veggies. The kids are a little bit picky and you need to get a leg in where you can for them to get a veggie in. So again, just popping them butter in the middle, tucking it over. And so you see my hands are getting a little bit sticky. I'm just going to dampen them again. And you can see it just wets the mixture and it's so much easier. So just shaping that one again, making sure there's no holes, popping it in our crumb coat and going. So you're going to keep continuing to do that with all your mixture. Again, make it what size suits you guys. Super quick and super easy. You would think that making your own chicken Kiev would be quite time taxing, but it's not. And like I said earlier, you can make these ahead of time. So I'm going to chuck mine in the oven so that I can show you what they're like when they're cooked. But in terms of if you wanted to say batch cook, so if you knew that you're making these, you could double your recipe and make more. And then chuck them in the freezer. So then all you've literally got to do when you come home from that busy day of kids at sport or whether you're being at work, you're just not sure what you want to cook on the weekend, you need something out of your freezer, you can have homemade chicken Kievs, which are super quick, super easy. Chuck them in the oven for about sort of 25 minutes, I would say, if they're frozen. Take about 15 to 20 minutes from fresh like this. So a little bit longer if they're frozen, obviously, so that you can give them time to defrost. But a great go-to and an easy one to stock in your freezer. Plus, save yourself, guys, a lot of money because our local butcher, they're like nearly $6 or $7 for a chicken Kiev. I've used 500 grams of chicken breast, and I can get chicken breast on special for about $8.50 at the moment. So that's per kilo. So it's ridiculous how much money you can save on these chicken Kievs. So I'm just going to do a little one. I've got a little baby. Well, we've not really a baby anymore. He's nearly 1. So obviously he's not going to eat a massive chicken Kiev. So again, guys, it's like a giant nugget. Well, giant nugget. Yeah, it is big giant nugget, I suppose. And chuck that in. So I'm just going to wash my hands. So that is my chicken Kiev done. So it's literally probably taken me maybe I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes all up. I don't even know what the time is. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly rinse my bowl. And when I say rinse, it's literally just give it a quick go over. If you have a TM6 and you had a second bowl, you could well and truly just get your second bowl out and that'll be ready to go. I'm just going to pop 500 of water into my bowl, which is just your first dot. If you have a look on the inside of your bowls, you've actually got lines and dots on there, and that there is a rough guide of 500 ml to a litre. Just going to turn this around. So in this recipe, it's actually going to tell me to get my chicken Kievs, put a little bit of butter in a fry pan, fry them on the outside to make them like a little bit crispy, and then finish them off in the oven. Personally, I don't want to dirty the dishes. I don't want to get a pan out, and that's just more time consuming. I've got to watch that. I just chuck mine straight in the oven and they come out perfect every time. So to me, it's not really worth those steps. I just go past all them and then chuck them in the oven. But I'm just going to go back to my home screen here and go into our modes because I'm going to chuck my veggies on. So I've chucked 500 of water. My bowl is still a little bit dirty. I'm not fussed because my potatoes, it's going to cook what's in there anyway. I've just diced up some potatoes. So just going to chuck those in there. Grabbing our lid, chucking our lid on. And then grabbing our varoma. So our varoma, or fancy name for steaming basket. I'm going to chuck some carrots. So I've just thinly sliced them, chuck those up the top. I've got some peas and corn as well. You guys, you can chuck whatever veggies you would like in here. I'm just using the bottom section of your varoma. It does come with a tray, so you can layer it up. It's absolutely huge, the varoma and the veggies that you can get in there. So just chucking my veg like that on top. So I'm going to do my mashed potato down the bottom, steamed up the top. So heading to our steaming mode, if you've got a TM7, if you don't, you can just, you've got a 6 or a 5, just go onto your manual setting mode. I'm going to pop mine on for 20 minutes because that's what I found works perfect for the mash. Speed 1, reverse. Varoma temperature, if you have a 5 or a 6, but if you have the 7, go into your steaming mode and then just clicking that we've got our simmering basket and our varoma on, and it naturally sets the speed 1 on that for you, and then hitting go. So my veg are on. I'm going to chuck my Kievs in the oven for about 20 minutes and dinner's going to be on the table.
Amazing. Thanks, Brooke. The steaming mode is one of my new favorites on the TN7. I love how quick and easy it is to set. And yeah, like Brooke said, you can just see there in the settings of it, it allows you to choose what you're steaming. So if you're just using the varoma, you just select the varoma in the picture. If you're using the basket and the varoma like Brooke is, you have the option to choose both. So it will create enough steam. Smart enough to create enough steam to cook what is in both for us in that time. Awesome. Thanks, Brooke. We are going to head on over to Jess now.
Hello. As Erin said, I'm Jess. I am Thermilife on the Farm on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm actually based in the Wimmera, so probably a fair way from most of you watching from Gippsland. But tonight I am going to make the quick and easy pork noodles. So as you can kind of see here, I've already got it on my week. So we just need to tap on here. And you can scroll up like you can on the 6 with the 7 and see what ingredients you need and what steps you're after, but we're all good to go. So we'll just press start. Now this one, we're just going to start by popping everything in. Now you might see on my screen here, I've actually got the timer running. The main reason for that is just so that my Thermomix didn't turn off while I was waiting. So just ignore that while it's going away in the background, but it's also a great feature if you need to use it. So we're going to put in 1 onion, throw that straight in, pick it off. We've got some garlic cloves. It is asking for 2, but they only seem small, so I'm popping in 3. Fresh ginger. I've just cut a piece. I never really know how much to put in. You can use the jar ginger and garlic if that's all you have. Don't feel like you have to buy fresh just for this. Now it's asking for palm sugar, which I didn't have, so I'm just going to pop in some normal sugar. Okay. And then it's also asking for some peanuts. So we'll pop them in as well. We need 30 grams. So just measuring straight into the bowl is nice and quick and easy. There we go. Now you'll see, because I actually got that right, the Thermomix will now, the Team 7 will actually tick off the ingredients itself. And go on to the next one. And then the last one it's asking for is a red chili. I do have one here, but I'm hoping that the kids will actually eat this. So I'm going to leave the chili out. So I'm just going to tick it off. It doesn't matter. The Thermomix doesn't mind with guided cooking if you want to leave things out. And we'll just press next. So now we're just going to do 2 seconds on speed 7. Nice and quick. So I'll just show you here. That's it, how much it's all really quickly chopped it all up. Sort of scrape down the sides. Oh, it smells delicious. Press next. Now we're going to pop in, it says peanut oil, didn't have any. So I am just going to pop in some grapeseed oil because it's another, has a high smoke point as well. So that'll be a good alternative. Went a little bit over, but that won't matter. And it's asking for some peanut butter. So yeah. It's asking for 30 grams. You could make your own peanut butter as well, just by whizzing up peanuts, which is really quick and easy and a good money saver as well. All right, so we'll go next. And now this is just going to fry off for 3 minutes at 120 degrees on speed 1. I'll let that go.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. We will come back in a couple of minutes. All right, I'm going to get us started just with a super quick and easy cookie recipe as well tonight. We all know that the midweek madness comes in many different forms, and we need all the help we can get, which isn't just meals, but sometimes some snacks for lunchbox or even for yourself as well. So I'm going to show you a couple of quick and easy recipes that aren't necessarily meals tonight. So the recipe I'm cooking is it's called Only the Best Chocolate Chip Cookies Ever on Cookie Do. This one is actually originally from the recipe community. I've been making this recipe for years. It is one of my absolute favorites. I too have the timer running like Jess. So we're just going to hit start cooking because like Jess, again, I have it plugged into my meal plan for the week. I already have my oven preheating, so I'm just going to skip on past that one. Put into the bowl now, I am going to add 125 grams of butter. And like Jess said, you can see hopefully there, it is automatically ticking off that butter for me because I did hit it the right amount there. If it's too slow for you, or if you're reducing the amount like I'm going to with the sugar, you can just tick it off yourself as well. Not in the right spot. It calls for 110 grams of white sugar and brown sugar for this recipe. I'm just going to put in I've done 110 anyway. I was just going to put in about 80, but doing it upside down lost me there. So that is the white sugar again ticking itself off, and then the brown sugar as well. Anyone made this recipe before? If you haven't, make sure you add it to your to-try folder because it is great. And then about 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Throw a bit in there. Ticking it off, pressing next. And now we're just going to mix that for 1 minute on speed 3. So we're just going to hit the play button there. So with this recipe tonight, I am going to do it a couple of different ways. So this recipe is super versatile, and if you are wanting to save time, you have a couple of options. So obviously you can do it like normal, roll out your cookies individually. It doesn't take too long, but you can also do it as a cookie tray bake, which I absolutely love doing, especially for the kids' lunchboxes. So I don't know about you guys, but we use like the bento style lunchboxes here, and cookies can be a bit of a pain to fit in the little compartments. So doing it as one big or little tray not only makes it quicker and saves me from rolling them all out, but it makes it much easier to fit all the cookies in there too. So I can just slice it up in the perfect size to fit in the lunch boxes. The other option that I love doing with these cookies is rolling them out or making a double batch perhaps and rolling them out and popping them in the freezer rolled, so ready to cook. So again, if you are doing a bit of a cook up, perhaps you've made, you set aside just Sunday, you've made your chicken Kievs for the week during the week, and then you can do some lunchbox prep. Double your cookie recipe, you know, like Brooke said with the Kievs, if you're doing it, you may as well double it or save your time in the long run, adding in an egg now. So double it then and then freeze it. So you can roll them out into little balls, freeze them. We're adding that egg, popping it back on for 30 seconds. Yeah, just freeze them on a tray to start with, roll them all out, freeze them on a tray. Then once they've been in there for 24 hours or so, then you can just take them off the tray, pop them in a Ziploc bag or something, ready for cooking during the week when you need some extra little lunchbox treats for yourself, or perhaps you've got unexpected visitors at some stage. It's a really great way to save you a little bit of time during the week. Does anyone freeze cookie dough or roll out and freeze cookies like that? Pop it in the chat box and let me know. All right, so into there now we're going to put 260 grams of self-raising flour. Let's see if I slide the handles right in the way. And half a teaspoon of salt. Just going to take both those off, press next. And then we're just going to knead it for 30 seconds. So you will be able to see, I'm just going to press play and keep talking. It will automatically select down kneading mode for us. So you'll just see the week symbol come up. On the TM7, you can really hardly even hear the kneading going. It's super, super quiet compared to the other models. But yeah, like I said before, this recipe is one that you can definitely make in any model Thermomix that you might have. So then the last step is just to add in our chocolate chips. You might also notice the automatic lid sensor on the TM7 is a bit of a game changer. There's no need to zero recipes like we do in other models. It will automatically sense when you take the lid on and off and make sure your scales are zero too. So just hitting next, and this time it's just telling us to stir those in with a spatula. So that is my cookie dough. I am going to stir those chocolate chips in. We'll go back and see Jess for a couple of minutes, and then I'll come back and show you how I've rolled and pressed these out.
All right, so mine has finished cooking down there now, so we'll keep cooking the sauce. So we've got to go in with Chinese black vinegar. So as you have probably already picked up on me, living in the country and everything, I find it hard to find all the correct ingredients. So a quick Google, and Chinese black vinegar is very similar to balsamic vinegar. So that's what we're going to use tonight. So we'll just pop that in. It is, you don't have to get too caught up on having exactly the right ingredients. You can always do a quick Google and find out what you can substitute. Another thing with the Thermomix automatically ticking off your ingredients now is that it automatically tears the scales for the next ingredient, which is, if you're doing a lot of cooking, is amazing. It's definitely one of my favorite features, I think. Now we're just going to put in some fish sauce. It finally comes out. 10 grams of that. And we've got some soy sauce. So this is nice and easy. Like a lot of the things I love doing in Thermomix, cooking meals like this, where you're actually making your own sauce, it's so much cheaper than buying all the packet mixes, and you know exactly what is in it too. And so then, and just some oyster sauce as well. There's 20 grams of that. Ooh. Okay, a little bit over, but that'll be okay. So we'll tick that one off, go next, and we're just going to mix all that up now. So now it's asking us to pour our sauce into like your thermoserver. So if you can see here, we've just made a beautiful sort of peanut, it smells delicious, sauce. So I've just got my oval thermoserver here. You can get these as post rewards for inviting guests to come along to demos like tonight, or just a one-on-one, or like a one at your house with your consultant. Always so handy to have around the thermoservers. Oh. All right. We'll just pop that in there. Now that'll keep our sauce warm for us while we go on with the next step. Start with the lid on. All right, and now what's next? So again, we're not going to wash the bowl. Favorite step. We're just going to put in some water. So it is asking for hot water. So I boiled the kettle, I don't know, just before we started, when I was getting ready. So probably a little while ago now, but it would still have some heat in it. And we need 1,500 grams it's asking for. That'll do. All right, so you can see now, because the it was green when I had the empty bowl, and now the lights turned like in the yellowy orange color, just indicating that it's hot. We're just going to go to next, and now we're going to use the kettle mode. So we need to get to 100 degrees, and currently the water, obviously from our kettle, is sitting at 70 degrees. So we'll just press play on that, and now we'll be using the kettle mode to boil the water. So I will leave it there and let someone else have a go.
Awesome, thank you. I was much like Jess. I mean, I have the ability here to get that, was it black vinegar from the shops, but it's, I cook a lot and I have a lot in our pantry. It's not something I have ever needed before. So I just, same as Jess, did a quick Google and did exactly the same substitute actually when I cooked that meal last week. So yeah, don't buy ingredients that you might never use again. Just Google the replacement. All right, so I have rolled out my cookies. I am just going to set the fork, just flatten them a little bit. But this is how you pop them in the freezer. Obviously, fill the tray. But if you're going to freeze them, just roll them like that and pop them in. And I'm just doing a mini tray bake just to kind of show you. So literally just press that out. It just needs slightly longer. The cookies are about 10 to 12 minutes, but just keep an eye on that and cook it for a little bit longer. So I'm going to pop those in the oven. And while that's doing its thing, we're going to actually go over and see Regina. Hopefully I can find her on here.
Hi, my name is Regina. I have a business called Thermotime, and I'm located in Gippsland, so probably quite close to most people. And tonight I am using my TM7 to do beef and coconut soup. So it's already here on the screen, ready to go. So we're just going to press start. Okay, so it's asking us to add sesame oil, and we're doing 2 teaspoons. Some eschalots, which are already here cut up. The great thing about this recipe is that everything goes into the bowl and then it chops it for you. So that's nice and simple. A carrot, pretty pre-chopped. Fresh ginger, which again, you can use ginger from a jar, but tonight I have used fresh ginger. A chili. I don't really like chili very much, so I'm just adding half of a chili. So even though it's guided cooking, you can still make changes as you like to suit your taste. So I'll just tick those ones off. So normally with the Thermomix, it will tick things off for you if it is weighing them, but because the items I've just added don't require weighing, it hasn't ticked it off for us. Okay. So it's just going to chop that now. So we'll pop the lid on. So it's all automated, it's all set in there. We just have to press start. I think it'll cut out because of the sound.
I haven't made this recipe before that Regina is making, but you will be so surprised at how quick and easy it is to make. It's only a few steps with very minimal cooking time.
Okay, you can hear me again now. So it has chopped that all up for us. So it's asking for the sides to be scraped down. Oh, it's a little bit toxic, making my eyes water. Okay, next. All right, so asking us to add our mushrooms. You can see this time it is ticking it off for us because it was weighed. All right, now we're sauteing for 2 minutes. So I think it was mentioned earlier, maybe by Erin. The TM7 is super quiet, so you can hardly hear that it is actually cooking. And the blade is also on reverse as well, so that it doesn't chop those mushrooms up really small. So we will leave it cook away for 2 minutes. I'm not sure, Erin, do you want to just get...
Yeah, we're going to go back to Jess.
in.
Jess is ready for us, so we'll just pop back over there quickly.
All right, cool. So I've just got to the 100 degrees on the kettle mode. So now it's asking me to add in my pork mince into the water. So bear with me. It seems like a very strange step, but we're just going to pop it into the water and just sort of try and break it up a bit as best I can as it's going in. So it said 500 grams. That is all I had, so that's close enough. And then pop in some noodles as well. So I'll just pop them straight in as well. And it's got 400 grams, which worked out perfectly to be the size of the packet. Pop them in. Done. And so now I've just got to stir with the spatula. So we'll just really carefully stir all that around. All right, and then it's asking us to put the lid on. And we are going to cook that for 2 minutes at 120 degrees on speed 1 reverse. So we will let it do its thing.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. I made that meal last week, like I said before, and I'm not going to lie, I was a bit shocked at that step too, but I promise you it is delicious. Nice, easy way of cooking too. All right, back to Regina.
Okay, so it's sauteed our mushrooms. I'll just take the lid off so you can have a... Well, you can see, can you see the steam that's rising from that? So there's our mushrooms. Remembering that we also had carrot and chili and our ginger in there too. All right, next. So it's asking us to add 400 grams of coconut cream. Always good to see whether we're actually getting what they say in terms of the amount. It's not quite at our 400 grams. So okay. Took that one off. Okay, palm sugar. It's 10 grams. Okay. It's ticking that one off for us. 2 teaspoons of fish sauce. Okay, this one's not coming out so easily. There we go. And 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. Tick those ones off. Okay, 500 grams of water. Just try not to spill that everywhere. Right, so it's asking to add vegetable stock paste. So one of the really great things about having a Thermomix is that you can make your own stocks and sauces and condiments and things like that. So this is one that I've made on the weekend and keep it in the fridge. You can also freeze it in little cubes, like ice cubes, and pull them out when you need. Okay, it's asking us to cook for 5 minutes at 120 degrees. And again, our blades are on reverse, so they're not going to chop everything up on us.
Awesome. Thanks, Georgina. All right, we'll come back in 5 minutes and see how you're
Thanks.
going there. No worries. I am just going to show you a really quick and easy zucchini vegetable slice now. So again, thinking, on a Sunday, we might do a bit of planning for the week. This is a great one too. Well, it also will use up some of the older veggies in your fridge as well. Perfect way to do that. But perfect for your midweek lunches. Perfect to heat up on a night where you're just, running a bit late. You can just have a nice salad or pop some chips in the air fryer or something to go with it. But yeah, super quick and easy. So this one's actually from the recipe community. I have imported it onto my TM7 with our features of cookie dough that you can do on your TM6 or TM7. I'll pop the imported recipe link in the chat box in a second for you.
Hey, Erin, can I just quickly butt in?
Yeah.
Because mine is cooked.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, so my noodles and pork are cooked in here now. The next step is I'm going to strain it in my Varoma here and then pretty much throw it all together. So my dish is pretty much done now. So I'll just quickly strain this and then I've just got to pop that into the thermo server with the sauce and then pop in some beans and some coriander and I'm done. So I'll let you cook your zucchini slice and you'll come back to me and it'll be all done.
Awesome, thank you. I'm just going to quickly grab out my cookies before I change that. Sorry, otherwise I don't want that. No one wants burnt cookies.
No, you're all right. So yeah, so explain mine a bit better. So it's just got some beans cut up, and it will go into the thermosaver with the pork and the noodles. And then I've got coriander and I've got chili, which are both usually quite polarizing ingredients, but we love them here. So I will definitely be putting both of those in our meal, but I'm sure you probably could leave them out.
Thank you. All right, I've just taken the cookies out. I'm going to leave that little tray back in for a couple more minutes, but let's get going. This is literally a couple of minutes to pop it all in. So into our Thermomix now, we are going to pop 1 carrot, just roughly chopped. So just literally throwing that in there. I'm not even going to tick them off because I'm just going to follow it. So again, you don't have to. You might find it handy to know where you're up to, but I can just read down there. A zucchini, roughly chopped. Half a brown onion. All right, 240 grams of capsicum, so I can just tear those scales. If I did tick it off, it would tear the scales automatically for me. So that is the 40 grams of capsicum, 40 grams of celery. Again, so all just roughly chopped. And what I like to do with this recipe is also throw the cheese in this section, in this step, because I'm just going to get bacon out while I keep talking. Because the recipe calls for grated cheese in the next step. And I don't feel like we need to waste our time grating the cheese when our Thermomix can do it for us while it's chopping this veggies. And then we're just going to pop in about 4 shortcut rashers of bacon. So I just kind of tear them in 2 and throw them in there. That was 3. And 4. And then we are going to pop the lid on and chop that for 4 seconds on speed 5. Let's tick that off. And go next. And now we're just popping in the rest of the ingredients. So you'll just see that gave that a quick chop. So not too fine because we still want a little bit of, we don't want it all mushed up in our zucchini slice. But in there now we are going to put in, shut that up for a second, some corn kernels. There's a 125 gram tin. I had some left over for something else during the week, so I'm just throwing in what I've got. 80 grams of self-raising flour. Four eggs. I've already done that. 10 grams of olive oil. And just half a teaspoon of salt and pepper. And now we are just going to combine all that for 20 seconds on speed 2. And then that's it. That's our zucchini slice done. Then we're just going to pop it in the oven. You can do this again like the other recipes. You can do it however you like. So you can do it, lost my train of thought. You can do it in like mini muffin trays. You could do it in like a mini loaf tray if you wanted to. I just do it in the big one and cut it up again just so that I can do it to the sizes that suit me and my family. Just going to just get a bit off the side and mix that through. But that is our zucchini slice mixture all done. So I'm going to put that one in the oven. I have one that I've pre-prepared to show you in a minute, but we're going to go back to Regina just so she can finish off that soup. And we are nearly done.
Okay, thanks, Erin. So I'll just show you without tipping it out. So it has cooked our mushrooms and everything else that's in there in the lovely sauce. Just snap, go next. Okay, so it's asking us to add our bok choy. It's pre-cut. So it's 100 grams. All right, I'm throwing it everywhere. We're a little bit over. That's okay. So tick that one off. All right, we're going to cook that again for 2 minutes. All right,
Awesome.
again, it's really quiet. You can hardly hear that it is cooking away for us. You can just hear that liquid being turned by the blades, which again are in reverse as well. Erin,
Awesome.
do you?
Yeah, I'm going to take you back. Brooke, are you there? I might get you to dish up and show us your final product while we keep cooking. I've got one more thing to show you, but I just need to do a quick bowl wash before I do it.
Yeah, so while the girls have been busy there, so my veggies were done, so I've just taken them out of the broiler. My potato, I just emptied my water out and then tipped my potatoes out of the steam basket into my Thermomix bowl. I just added a little bit of butter. You can do butter, milk, again, however you like your mashed potatoes, and I just chuck a bit of pepper and salt in. I mix mine on speed 3.5 for about sort of 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how you like your mash. And that's the mash part done in there. My Kievs are ready, so I've grabbed those out of the oven and whacked it all on a plate, and it's ready to go. So chicken Kiev, steamed carrots, peas and corn, and creamy mash, ready to go. So super quick, super easy. Like I said, you could make your Kievs ahead of time, so chuck those in the freezer. So in terms of getting some veggies ready on your plate, you literally 5 minutes peel your carrots and your potatoes and chuck it on your Thermomix. And the best thing is, especially if you've got little kids, which is my big thing, I can shower the kids or bath the kids, have them all done, and you don't have to watch this while your veggies are cooking. There's no burning potatoes, there's no boiling over on the stove, less pots and pans, it's all in one. And completely safe. So you don't have to worry about little ones touching it either.
Awesome. Thanks, Brooke. Well, we'll get you to finish off completely now if you want. So if you could just remind us of your social media.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I am Thermo Inspired Foodie. I'm down the East Gippsland, sort of Bairnsdale, Swan Reach region. So if you need any hands or support with anything, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing those. I think they're perfect meal prep or quick and easy weeknight dinner. And yeah, absolutely. If you're going to make them, double the batch and pop them in the freezer. You will thank yourself later. And then yeah, you can just do those quick and easy veggies, layer them all up, and do anything else you need to do after work or on those busy sport nights.
Yeah, they're super quick. People procrastinate doing them, but yeah, really, really quick and easy.
And delicious.
Yeah, so good.
Right. Thanks so much, Brooke.
Thank you.
All right, Regina.
Okay, so we're up to the final parts of our recipe. It's asking us to add our beef fillet steak. So it is quite an interesting recipe in that it has added the bok choy first before the steak. Okay, there's our 300 grams. All right, so it's going to cook that again for 2 minutes. Again, blade is reversed, so it's not going to chop up that steak on us and mush it up like baby food. It is quite chunky soup with lots of your mushrooms and the steak in it, but it's really, really delicious and nice and warming on cold winter nights, but also with that little bit of Asian inspired flavour to it. So it has 1 minute and 27 seconds to go. So Erin, I'm not sure, does anyone else have something to show?
Yes, I am going to just finish off. We've got probably 5 minutes, guys, if you don't mind bearing with us for the last 5 minutes, and then we'll be all done. But one last thing I wanted to show you super, super quickly, I promise it will be quick, is how to make some like smoothie cubes. I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard of this before. Skinny Mixers does a similar recipe that I've kind of just run with my own a little bit here tonight. But this is a perfect one for your quick and easy breakfast during the week. So I'd love to know, pop in the chat box and let me know, how are you with eating breakfast on your busy mornings? Is it something you're good at, or is it something you often skip? So I'm going to just do this manually and just kind of almost wing it, but it's not really winging because I do have an idea what I'm doing. But, you know, change this around to however you want, but it's a really good kind of base idea. So I'm going to pop in some chia seeds first. And I'm going to try aim to make about enough for a week, so 5 days worth. And I'm going to give them a quick blend first. So I'm just going to open my manual mode. And I'm just going to, I'm not even going to put a time on because I'm just going to do a few seconds on speed 8. Well, maybe I'll put 5 seconds on. Oh, hang on, because I've got done 5 minutes. So much harder to do things upside down. Actually, I was going to show you and I changed my mind at the last minute. Oh, I forgot at the last minute is I'm actually going to use the blend mode. So I'm just, that it automatically sets to 30 seconds on speed 8, but I've just turned it down to 5 seconds. And that is that done. And now I'm going to throw in the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to just, like I said, kind of just wing it a little bit. Pop in a couple of bananas. Zoe, a coffee in the car. It's not breakfast, is it? It's something we're not very good at, isn't it? And Jess is skipping it too. So maybe these are something you could have a try of. And then they're all done. You know, breakfast is so much easier. I've got some frozen fruit that has just been sitting out on the bench for a little while. Just, you can use obviously fresh fruit if you have it. Frozen fruit will just need a little bit extra help to kind of blend up a little bit, as you guys probably already know. I'm going to add in a little bit of almond butter just to kind of keep us that little bit fuller for longer as well. And some honey too. So the idea of these like smoothie cubes is then you're just making like the base mixture of your smoothie so that you don't have to grab all these ingredients out in the mornings. So then you're just going to blend all that up. So again, just stay in the blend mode. Pop the lid back on, and this time we will keep it at 30 seconds. So we're going to blend it up to get a real kind of thick smoothie-like paste that then we're going to freeze into cubes. So I'm going to do that. So I did do some earlier on. I don't know how well frozen they're going to be. They're not. They haven't been in the freezer quite long enough. But you can see there now. I'm just going to show you that it's kind of like a pasty consistency. So a bit thicker than a smoothie. Then you're just going to pour that out into your molds. Or the other idea I had, because you just want to make sure that they're not too big, because when you go to blend them into your smoothie in the morning, you don't want really big frozen blocks that it's going to put too much pressure on the blade. So the other option is to pop them in one of your mini loaf trays and then just give them a quick cut up in the morning. Just slice a few slices, maybe like, 5 into each one. So like I said, this would be about enough for a week. So I'm going to pop probably about 5 of these little smoothie things in my Thermomix once I put this in. and add some oat milk, which is what I prefer. You can just do whatever you like in your smoothie. Yeah, add in your milk, whether you do a coconut water, whatever you like. So in the morning, you are just throwing in your frozen cubes, throwing in a bit of milk, and having a smoothie ready to go in the mornings. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a quick smoothie while Regina finishes up, and then we are all done.
Thanks, Erin. I am actually done. So while Erin was doing her smoothie, I added some zested lime and the lime juice, and then it cooked for another 20 seconds and stirred it around. And this is, I'll try my best to not tip this everywhere. This is our contents of our bowl, and I've already plated it up. And again, it is soup, so I'm going to try my best to show that without tipping it out.
That looks so good.
It's actually really nice. I had a friend over today that I cooked it for. I think she is on tonight. Her name is Chris. And we discussed at length how the bok choy went in first and then the meat goes in second. But because the meat is sliced up really finely, and you're using the fillet, the eye fillet as well, it cooks really, really quickly, and yeah, it doesn't take long at all. So really nice.
Amazing.
Really nice recipe, really quick and simple, and really tasty. So yeah.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much, Regina. For everybody watching all at home, this is Regina's first cooking class with us. So you've done an incredible job. Thank you so much for cooking with us.
Thanks, Erin.
Loved cooking with you. And can you remind us again, what is your social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Thermo Time, and I'm based in Traff. So if anyone is needing support in Traff or looking for a cooking experience or wanting to order a Thermomix, please reach out and find me. Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to head on over to Jess, who's going to play it up as well.
Cool. So yes, mine was finished pretty much after I was last on. So here it all is in here. It's just got, at the end was just to pop in the noodles and the pork with the sauce, mix it all up, add the beans. I've added some coriander. I haven't put the chili in here, as I explained before, because of the kids. You could also add some other veggies in there too. I would say, like, if you just had some carrot or something cut quite small, about the same as like the beans, like your little matchsticks, that would work in really well. But then I've also plated some up here and added some chili, and it smells absolutely delicious. So this one was really easy. Like, if we hadn't been chopping and changing, I think it would, about 20 minutes would have been the whole meal done. And then the Thermomix cleans itself and we're all done. Easy midweek meal.
So good. Yeah, it literally is under half an hour, that one. It's incredible.
Yeah,
and
very fast.
Super tasty.
Yeah,
awesome.
Can't wait to try it.
Thank you, Jess. And please remind us again your social media.
Yep, so I am Thermolife on the Farm, based up in Caniva. So jump on there and follow along, that'd be great.
Awesome. Thank you.
No
all right, I'm going to come back over here. I've got things going everywhere. I've achieved too much in a short period now, and I don't have enough space. So I added in, like I said, about 5 of those. I need another spatula too. 5 of those ice cubes into my smoothie with some oat milk. But again, just do whatever milk or water, whatever you like. But do you think that would help you in your crazy mornings to make a smoothie if you had them already done in the freezer and you didn't have to find all your ingredients? Just pull a couple out. Let me know, do you think that's something you'd give a go? And I'll just show you. Like I said, these ones aren't quite frozen all the way, but you're just grabbing them out and literally just throwing them in with your milk. And that is your smoothie done. And then we have that zucchini slice that I made as well. So that is all done again. Just cut it up to suit your you and what you'd like for lunch or dinner, or your lunch boxes even. That is a super quick and easy one as well. And then we've got our cookies. So these are our actual cookies that we just rolled out and popped in the oven, and like that would be the same if you had popped them in the freezer. You know, you would just put them out like that. And then if I can get under this, this is our cookie tray bake as well. I'll open it now, but let's do that sort of, that serves me right for getting it out before it's cooled down. But that is your cookie tray bake too. So that is, again, just exactly the same recipe, just quickly pushed out with my fingers into the tray. But it makes it, yeah, saves you a bit of time when you're cooking out, but also makes it heaps easier to pop in your lunch boxes and things for the kids as well. So if you're looking to save a bit of time, do it that way. And it's a bit of a novelty as well, I think, for the kids. But that is everything for us tonight. We've cooked quite a lot in just over an hour. But yeah, we hope you have given you some hints, some tips, ideas, recipes that you would like to have a go at cooking, and that might make your weeknights just that little bit easier. So thank you so much for joining us. Yes, like I said earlier, my name is Erin O'Brien. I am a Thermo Loving Mum on Instagram and Facebook if you'd like to follow along as well. But a big thank you to Jess, Regina and Brooke for cooking with me tonight. And thank you to you guys for watching us. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to see you on another cooking class again soon. I'm hoping to bring you a aroma-themed virtual in August, if we can believe that we're nearly up to August. So please keep your eyes peeled for that one. I'm hoping to bring you some, again, great recipes and tips to get the most out of your aroma using your steaming and all different things. So layered cooking, we all love layered cooking. So hopefully see you at that one. Thanks again for joining us, and good night. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Erin.